Kara Thorne had always been fascinated by broken things. Machines, gadgets, starships. If it was old, rusted, or forgotten, she saw potential where others saw only trash. Her small repair shop, floating on the outskirts of the Orion frontier, thrived because of this. She could fix almost anything, often using scraps no one else wanted. But nothing had prepared her for the sight she saw drifting in the outer belt of the abandoned sector. At first, it looked like a shadow against the starlight, massive and dark. Kara adjusted the magnoculars on her helmet and zoomed in. Her jaw dropped. It was a starship, enormous, longer than any vessel she had ever seen, and it was clearly ancient. Its hull was pitted with corrosion, some sections hanging loose like old metal skin. Panels had fallen away, exposing internal conduits and strange glowing wires. Kara's heart raced. Most ships like this were left to drift forever, scavenged by aliens or forgotten entirely. But not this one. There was something different. "Looks like a tomb," her robotic assistant Milo said from the cockpit. The little drone floated beside her, its single lens blinking nervously. "I'd suggest not boarding. The structure is unstable and the AI, if it even exists, could be dangerous." Kara shook her head. "Dangerous is just another word for opportunity, Milo. You know that." With practiced precision, she maneuvered her small craft closer, matching the starship's drift. The closer she got, the more she noticed the signs that this ship wasn't just any relic. The hull had strange markings, symbols she didn't recognize, and some panels seemed to pulse faintly, as if the ship itself was still alive. Milo beeped uneasily. "Life signs are weird. Not human. Not any species in the Galactic Registry." Kara smiled. That only made her more curious. Aliens always underestimated humans. They assumed humans were fragile, small, and incapable of large-scale engineering. She intended to prove them wrong. She found an access hatch near the base of the ship. It was corroded shut, but a little force, and a few carefully aimed plasma cuts opened it with a hiss. Kara climbed inside, Milo hovering nervously behind her. The interior was dark. Dust floated in shafts of light that entered through broken panels. The air was thick and stale, and the smell of burned circuits hung faintly. Kara pulled out her portable lights and scanned the hall. The corridors were massive, far bigger than she expected. It was like walking inside a skyscraper built from metal. "What is this place?" Milo murmured, scanning with infrared. "Something amazing," Kara said, her voice echoing. She ran her gloved hand along a console covered in rust and grime. To the touch, it was cold and brittle. "And I'm going to bring it back to life." Days passed and Kara explored the ship. She mapped the corridors, tested old systems, and recorded everything. The ship's power core was long dead, but she noticed the design was unlike anything she had ever studied. Its architecture was elegant, efficient, and almost organic in some places. One day, while examining the bridge, she found the AI core, a small, crystalline device at the center of the control room. It was surrounded by broken panels, sparks, and wires that hung like vines. Kara knelt carefully and connected her portable diagnostic unit. The core hummed faintly. Kara held her breath. A soft voice like wind through metal pipes filled the bridge. Awake after centuries, Kara's eyes widened. Milo buzzed nervously. I think it's alive." "Yes, Milo, and I think it wants someone human," Kara said, feeling a thrill she hadn't felt in years. "I think it chose us." The AI spoke again, fragments of sentences floating in the air. "Purpose, forgotten, protect, system, captain, human," Kara frowned. She didn't understand most of it, but she understood one thing clearly. This was no ordinary ship. Someone or something had built it for a reason, and it had waited quietly, silently for a human to come along. For the next few days, Kara worked tirelessly. She repaired circuits with makeshift tools, patched holes in the hull, and rerouted power systems using a combination of alien components and human ingenuity. Milo assisted, though it kept nervously warning her about structural instability. Kara ignored the warnings. "Milo, the universe doesn't reward those who play it safe," she said. "It rewards those who try." And try she did. She worked day and night, improvising ways to bring the ship systems online. Sometimes she failed spectacularly, panels sparked, systems overloaded, alarms screeched, but every failure taught her something. Every broken circuit became a lesson. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the ship began to respond. Lights flickered on. Doors opened without groaning. Even the AI core pulsed gently, as if acknowledging her effort. One night, while resting in the small habitation module she had set up, Kara dreamt of the ship moving through space under its own power. In her dream, she could see it gliding past planets, asteroids, and nebulae, bigger and stronger than any vessel in the galaxy. She woke up, feeling a rush of excitement. This wasn't just salvage work. This was destiny. The AI began to communicate more clearly, stringing together full sentences. "Kara, human, you have the skill, the mind, the courage, the galaxy needs you." Kara's heart raced. Courage wasn't something she lacked, but the weight of the ship's purpose pressed down on her. She wasn't just restoring a relic, she was awakening a sleeping giant. Then came the first real test. Milo's sensors picked up debris drifting at high speed toward the ship, a cloud of meteorites, remnants of a nearby asteroid belt. The ship's old defense systems were offline. Kara had to think fast. Using a combination of her repair tools, makeshift magnetic stabilizers, and a clever rerouting of the ship's power, she managed to activate the primary shields just in time. The meteors slammed against the hull, denting metal and scraping panels, but the ship held. Kara had done it. She had brought life to a ship that had been abandoned for centuries. As the debris cloud passed, Kara stood on the bridge and looked out at the stars. She felt a connection to the ship she had never expected. It wasn't just metal and circuits, it had personality, intelligence, even a soul of sorts. And now that soul was trusting her. The AI spoke again, more clearly than ever. "You are chosen. The galaxy will soon know what humans can do." Kara smiled. Humans were underestimated everywhere. Aliens doubted them. Scientists laughed at them. Yet here she was, standing on a forgotten starship, bringing it back to life with nothing but human skill, determination, and clever thinking. For the first time in her life, Kara understood what it meant to be part of something larger than herself. This ship was more than a relic. It was a galactic titan, sleeping quietly, waiting for the right mind to awaken it. And Kara was that mind. As she looked at the stars beyond, she made a silent promise. "I'll show them," she whispered. "I'll show them all what humans can do." And far away in the shadowed corridors of the ship, old systems whirred to life. Ancient power conduits glowed. Lights flickered, spreading across the massive vessel. It was no longer a forgotten relic. It was awakening. Kara didn't know yet what lay ahead. She didn't know the challenges, the mysteries, or the adventures that awaited. But she did know this. With her hands, her mind, and a little human stubbornness, she could make the impossible possible. The stars outside twinkled, as if acknowledging the start of a new chapter. Humanity had a place in this galaxy, and Kara Thorne had just begun to carve that place for herself. And somewhere deep in the ship's AI core, a voice hummed softly. The forgotten starship, which she had called simply the Titan, was no longer just a relic drifting in space. It was awakening under her hands. Every day brought a new challenge, and every success proved humans were underestimated. Milo hovered beside her as she worked on rerouting one of the ship's main power conduits. "Kara, I have to remind you again," it buzzed nervously. "The hull integrity is only 43%. Any further stress could collapse entire sections." Kara grinned. "Milo, that's exactly why humans are perfect for this. Where others see danger, we see opportunity." The little drone beeped in protest but said nothing more. Milo had learned by now that arguing with Kara was pointless. The corridors of the Titan were massive, far larger than anything Kara had ever seen. Some hallways were wide enough to drive a small rover through. Panels of alien technology, long dead or inactive, lined the walls, their symbols glowing faintly when she connected her portable tools. Kara's job was part detective work, part engineering genius and part improvisation. She began with the life support systems. Air circulation had long stopped, and patches of ice had formed on some panels from frozen condensation in the vacuum of space. Using her portable power units and recycled components from nearby derelicts, she restored circulation, filtered air, and brought temperature controls back online. Milo monitored everything, occasionally scanning for structural weaknesses. By the third day, Kara had learned to read the ship systems almost instinctively. She discovered that many of the alien circuits were designed to adapt. They were intelligent in their own way. Some sections responded to her touch, flickering to life when she connected her makeshift interfaces. But there were limits. The navigation system remained dead. The ship's main engines were silent. And most importantly, the AI core, though awake, spoke in fragments, often confusing Kara. "Protect Galaxy human key." "What's the key?" Kara whispered aloud, staring at the pulsing crystal core. "Do you mean me, or something else?" Milo hovered closer, its lens flickering. "I am detecting unknown signals, patterns, encrypted commands, possibly a hidden protocol." Kara's mind raced. She realized the ship wasn't just designed to travel through space, it had a purpose, a mission. But someone or something had abandoned it before it could fulfill that mission. And somehow, humans, herself in particular, had been chosen to finish what was started. The first true challenge came sooner than expected. Sensors picked up a small fleet of scavenger ships approaching the sector. Kara had assumed that no one paid attention to this dead region of space, but apparently some had noticed the Titan drifting. The alien scavengers weren't hostile in the traditional sense. They didn't attack, but their intentions were clear. They wanted the Starship for themselves, or at least its parts. Kara didn't panic. She had expected trouble. Humans thrived under pressure, she reminded herself. She had no weapons, but she had something better: imagination and ingenuity. She rerouted power from dormant engine sections to create energy shields around the hull. It was a crude system, but it worked. The scavenger fleet approached, expecting an easy target, only to see the ancient ship shimmer with a protective field they couldn't penetrate. Milo whirred with excitement. "You did it, Kara. They're backing off." Kara smirked. "Of course they are. No alien has the cleverness humans have." The incident gave Kara confidence. She realized that the ship could do more than survive. With the right modifications, it could outperform anything the galaxy had seen. Over the next several weeks, Kara worked tirelessly. She repaired the engine cores, replacing corroded energy conduits and rerouting power through sections that had never been used. She adapted alien technology in ways the original designers had likely never intended. Tiny drones she built out of scrap moved through the ship, welding and patching sections automatically. Every day, the Titan became a little more alive. But Kara was not just repairing a machine, she was unraveling a mystery. One night, while connecting her diagnostic unit to the AI core, the fragments of speech finally formed coherent sentences. "You, human, awaken the ship, restore its purpose. Defend the systems, only you can." Kara's heart pounded. Defend the systems. Which systems? The star cluster, neutralize rogue phenomena, lost civilizations. The AI's words were cryptic, but Kara understood the essence. This ship had been built to protect life, not to wage war. Humans, long considered weak, had been entrusted with a responsibility no other species could handle. Excited, Kara began mapping the star cluster the AI mentioned. Using old star charts and her portable sensors, she traced the paths of asteroids, rogue planets, and remnants of destroyed stars. The AI guided her, its voice more confident with each instruction. "You understand quickly, efficient, human, remarkable," Kara smiled. Even the AI, ancient and alien, recognized the ingenuity humans could bring. Days turned into weeks. Kara began testing the ship's adaptive systems. She discovered that the hull could self-repair minor damages, that the energy conduits could redirect power in milliseconds, and that the ship's sensors could detect anomalies light years away. It wasn't just a ship, it was a galactic sentinel, waiting for a captain smart enough to wield it. During one test, Kara accidentally triggered a reactor pulse. Alarms blared, lights flickered, and Milo zipped around panicking. Kara worked quickly, rerouting power and using clever improvisation to stabilize the core. When it was over, she realized something remarkable. The ship had learned from her actions. Systems that had previously failed now adjusted automatically. The AI's words echoed in her mind. Humans adapt, learn, improve, beyond design. It dawned on Kara that this ship, though built by a superior alien race, had never anticipated the creativity of humans. No other species could have completed the improvisation she had achieved. She grinned. Humans were underestimated again, and yet again they had proven their value. Then came the greatest revelation. While scanning the outer sectors, Kara detected a dense energy anomaly, unlike anything in the galactic charts. The AI spoke urgently. "Rogue phenomenon collision course. Inhabited planets must intervene," Kara's mind raced. This was it, the true test. The ship was no longer just a relic. It was a weapon of protection, a guardian capable of saving entire civilizations. And she, a single human mechanic, was now its captain. But how could she handle something of this magnitude? She had never commanded a ship this large, let alone controlled systems capable of influencing stellar phenomena. Milo hovered nervously. "You sure about this, Kara?" it asked. "I have to be," she said firmly. "Humans don't back down, not when lives are at stake." Kara began working on the control integration. She connected every system she could access to a central interface she designed herself. Alien technology, human ingenuity, and the ship's adaptive AI merged into one. Every challenge forced her to think differently, to find solutions no alien engineer had anticipated. Finally, the ship hummed with power. Lights glowed throughout its vast corridors, energy flowed smoothly, and the AI's voice rang clearly. "You human ready for next step?" Kara nodded. "Let's see what we can do together." The next days were spent in preparation. Kara ran simulations, tested energy shields, and optimized navigation protocols. The rogue phenomenon loomed closer, a massive cloud of cosmic debris and unstable energy threatening inhabited systems. The galaxy was watching, though no one knew it yet. The first step was simple in theory but monumental in execution. Stabilize the ship's power cores enough to respond in real time to the anomaly. Kara worked tirelessly, improvising redundant circuits, linking the AI's adaptive capabilities directly to her controls. Every adjustment was precise, every connection vital. One mistake and the ship could collapse or worse, fail to prevent disaster. At last, the preparations were complete. Kara stood on the bridge, Milo hovering nervously beside her, as the stars beyond shimmered with distant lights. The AI spoke, steady and confident for the first time. "Human, you Captain Guide, protect Galaxy now." Kara took a deep breath. She had transformed a forgotten relic into a living, adaptive guardian. And now, she would prove to the galaxy the power of human ingenuity, courage, and determination. As the Titan glided slowly into the outer sectors, its hull gleaming under starlight, Kara felt a surge of pride. She had faced impossible odds, defied expectation, and awakened a sleeping giant. The galaxy had yet to see what humans were capable of, but soon they would. And deep within the ship's core, the AI hummed with quiet approval. Humans, beyond design capable, ready, Kara smiled. Humanity was underestimated once again, but not for long. The stars awaited, the galaxy awaited. And Kara Thorne, a single human mechanic, was ready to show them all what humans could truly achieve. The stars outside the Titan shimmered like a field of diamonds as Kara Thorne took her place on the bridge. Every corridor, every panel, every system in the massive ship hummed with renewed life. The ship had awakened under her hands, and now it was ready for its first true mission. Milo hovered nervously, its single lens flickering. Kara, the anomaly is approaching fast. If we don't act, nearby inhabited systems could be destroyed. Kara's jaw tightened. I know, Milo, but that's why humans are here. We never back down. She ran her gloved hands over the controls she had improvised herself, linking alien technology with human ingenuity. Every decision, every adjustment was critical. The Titan was massive, more like a small city than a ship, and moving it required careful calculation. The anomaly was unlike anything Kara had ever seen. A swirling mass of unstable energy, debris, and rogue gravitational forces, it stretched across thousands of kilometers of space. Its unpredictable movements could smash planets, tear apart moons, and disrupt entire star systems. The galaxy's most advanced alien civilizations would likely have fled in terror, but Kara was ready. AI, she said, we need to stabilize the core, redirect power, and protect the systems in the star cluster. Can you handle it? The AI responded clearly with a tone almost proud. Human capable, ready, you lead, I follow together, Kara smiled. That was all she needed. The first step was stabilizing the ship's energy fields. Kara rerouted power from the restored engines into a network of magnetic shields she had improvised. Milo monitored energy flow, giving her real-time feedback. She adjusted shielding patterns to create a protective bubble that could withstand the force of the anomaly. It worked barely. Sparks flew from overloaded circuits, panels groaned, and the entire ship shuddered as energy surged through it. But the Titan held, a testament to both alien engineering and human cleverness. Next came navigating the anomaly. Kara had studied every simulation she could find, but the anomaly was unpredictable. Meteors and plasma bursts moved in ways no map could show. Most beings would have panicked. Kara relied on her instincts, honed from years of repairing fragile machines in impossible situations. She calculated trajectories, adjusting the ship's path in real time. Tiny microdrones she had built flew ahead, scanning for hazards and transmitting data back to her interface. She combined this information with the AI's guidance, creating a system that neither she nor the aliens who built the ship could have anticipated. Hours passed. The anomaly twisted and writhed, moving unpredictably toward inhabited planets. Kara's body ached, her hands blistered from controlling the interfaces directly, but she refused to stop. Humans were known for persistence, for endurance, and for solving problems that others gave up on. Suddenly, the anomaly surged. A massive burst of energy struck the ship's shields. Warning lights flashed. Milo's sensors screamed. Kara's heart raced, but she didn't panic. Divert auxiliary power to the dorsal shields, she commanded. Use the microdrones to reinforce structural points. AI synchronized with my control matrix. The ship shuddered violently, panels buckled and alarms blared, but the Titan responded. Magnetic fields rippled across its hull, absorbing the energy. Microdrones zipped through critical points, welding fractures and stabilizing pressure nodes. Kara's improvisation had worked. The anomaly recoiled, slowed, and fragmented. Kara guided the pieces carefully, using the ship's power to redirect debris away from planets and moons. She wasn't using weapons. She wasn't firing lasers or bombs. She was using ingenuity, adaptability, and sheer cleverness, human brilliance to save lives. The AI's voice rang clear, proud. Human remarkable, beyond design the galaxy sees now. Kara laughed, feeling a thrill she had never felt before. The galaxy had always underestimated humans. They assumed she couldn't handle the ship. They assumed humans were small, fragile, and incapable. And yet here she was, single-handedly piloting a massive alien starship, saving entire systems without firing a shot. Milo hovered beside her, blinking rapidly. "Kara, the planets, they're safe." She nodded, smiling. "Not just safe, protected. And no one will ever forget this. At least, not those who see it." But the challenge wasn't over. As the last fragments of the anomaly were redirected, sensors picked up a hidden gravitational pulse emanating from the edge of the star cluster. The AI's voice became urgent. "Unstable rogue core, threatened star system, must intervene." Kara's mind raced. Another test, another challenge. Humans thrived on these moments. She quickly recalculated energy flows, creating a temporary stabilizer using the ship's engines and energy conduits. Milo buzzed anxiously as Kara linked the stabilizer directly to the AI's predictive algorithms. The rogue core pulsed violently. Time slowed for Kara. She adjusted shields, rerouted energy, and synchronized with the AI's predictive calculations. Every action required speed, precision, and creativity. One wrong move could destroy the ship, and then, with a final adjustment, the core stabilized. The dangerous energy dissipated into space harmlessly. Kara leaned back in her chair, exhausted but triumphant. The galaxy had witnessed something incredible. This is human ingenuity," she whispered to herself. "We can do more than anyone ever imagined." The AI's voice, calm and steady, echoed through the bridge. "Human captain, worthy, the galaxy must acknowledge humans capable." Kara smiled. It wasn't recognition she wanted. It wasn't fame. It was proof that humans, underestimated for centuries, could achieve the impossible. She had taken a forgotten starship, revived it with her own hands, and used it to protect countless lives. That was the essence of human resilience. As she looked through the massive viewport, she saw alien ships approaching, not to fight but to watch. Word had spread across the sector. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations were witnessing something unprecedented. A human had turned a forgotten relic into a galactic titan, capable of feats no alien engineer had imagined. "AI," Kara said, her voice calm but firm. "I think it's time to show them what humans can really do." "Understood, human captain," the AI replied. The alien observers watched in awe as the Titan glided through the star cluster. Kara guided it with precision, demonstrating the ship's full capabilities. She redirected energy streams, stabilized gravitational anomalies, and even used her improvised drones to repair minor faults in distant satellites. Every action highlighted human creativity, adaptability, and intelligence. For the first time, aliens began to understand what humans had always known. Their species was clever, resilient, and capable of remarkable feats. Kara had proven it, not with weapons, not with conquest, but with ingenuity and courage. Hours later, as the last of the dangerous phenomena dissipated, Kara stood on the bridge, looking out at the calm, sparkling stars. Milo floated beside her, quiet now, impressed and slightly awed. "You did it, Kara," Milo said softly. "The galaxy, it's never seen anything like this." Kara shook her head. "It's not me, Milo, it's humans. We're underestimated, yes, but we learn, we adapt, and we never stop trying. That's our strength." The AI hummed softly. "Human, captain, remarkable, beyond design, galaxy, must acknowledge humans." Kara smiled, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. Humanity had earned its place among the stars. They were clever, resilient, and capable of achieving the impossible. And she, a simple human mechanic, had proven it to the universe. As she guided the Titan back to the edge of the sector, she made a quiet vow. This was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders, mysteries, and challenges. But with ingenuity, determination, and courage, humans could meet any challenge. And somewhere deep in the ship's core, the AI pulsed with quiet approval. Humans, beyond expectation, worthy, Captain. Kara took a deep breath. The stars stretched before her, endless and inviting. She had awakened a forgotten titan. She had protected the galaxy. And she had shown, once and for all, that humans, small, underestimated, but brilliant, could change the course of the cosmos. The galaxy would never forget this moment. Humanity had arrived, and Kara Thorne, mechanic and captain, had carved their place among the stars. The Titan glided forward, majestic and alive, carrying its human captain into a future full of challenges, discoveries, and triumphs. And Kara knew, deep in her heart, that no force in the galaxy, alien or otherwise, could ever underestimate humanity again.